just make sure that you have a blanket, a bolster, and something to cover your eyes, something nice and light. So just a cloth or a bit of material, like could be your jumper sleeve or something like that. And make sure that it's quite warm, but make sure that you're not going to get cold as well. So we're going to do Yin and then into Yoga Nidra. So it's going to be slightly longer practice today. So just make sure you've got everything that you need and get started. Okay, cool. So welcome to another month. I don't know how we're in September already. It's going so quick this year, but new month, so new focus, new intentions, and a new movement forward. So this month I'm focusing more of the classes around the navel center and all of the energies, all of the essences and qualities that go with this center. So we'll be talking more a little bit later in the month around Samana Vāyu and what is that. But for today we're going to be working on discernment and clearing the tendencies in the mind, clearing the lower energies of the mind to move us into clear seeing. And we can do that by accessing the stomach and the spleen meridian lines. So that's where we're going to be working through today, working in the inner leg line, lots of twisting and just opening the front line of the body. So when we're in harmony in this meridian line, we see nice clarity of mind, we're balanced, we're feeling equal, and the body's rhythms are very harmonious. And we're also able to really take in nutrition from all levels and assimilate that and get rid of what we don't need. So this is a nice way to start coming into the more cooler months with looking at maybe what things are nurturing us and what things are bringing us not so much help, not so much ease. And how can we start to shed these as we come into the cooler months and really draw inward, draw our energies in and start to really refine what it is that we're doing, where we're going and what we want out of life. So that's the focus for this month, and we're going to be working spleen and stomach meridian lines. So we're going to start straight off into wide knee child's pose. So if you just come over onto all fours, and we want to take the toes together, the knees apart. Take a nice, sorry, you can hear the traffic. Benefits living on a main road. So take the knees nice and wide, and then just pad your hands forward. And if you need to prop up the backs of the knees, just grab your blanket and bring it tuck underneath the backs of the knees or underneath the knees, just to add a bit of support. We're going to twist to the right first. So taking the right arm as far out as you can, and then you can slide the left arm underneath to come into a twist. Just re-extend your right arm, take it above the head. If you feel okay there, you can pause there, or you might like to just bring your hand in front of your face. And also, if you want to increase the stretch, you can bring your hand either to the sacrum or round to reach for the left thigh. So you're really opening the chest and turning deeply through the spine, through the navel point. If you feel that you need a little bit extra support, just take another blanket or pillow and bring it underneath the head so you've got a nice ledge to rest your head onto. And then coming into the shape, we're going to be here for around 2 minutes, not too long for what you're used to. So just let yourself settle into that shape. And really breathe into the belly. So throughout the practice today, use abdominal breathing. So nice deep belly breaths. And let all of the breath flood into the belly. So we're just starting to clear out any stagnant energy in the stomach, which is located on the, I always get this wrong, so let me just clarify. I should know this off the top of my head. It's on the left side. So it's just underneath the rib cage on the left side of the abdomen. So where we are here, we're just opening into that space. So you can really feel the breath moving into that space to open, to stretch, to create more space. And the spleen is located just behind on the left side. So the spleen is a blood reservoir and it's primary organ of digestion. And it produces also lymphocytes which help to destroy and recycle red blood cells and also fights infection. So it traps any organisms in white blood cells. So this is a really key part of our digestive system, key part of our immunity, and also a blood reservoir. So it stores blood when we need it to help and aid digestion. And then the stomach is obviously the first point where we receive food, where we receive our nutrients. And what goes on here, just breaking down what is needed, what's not necessary. So all the nutrients goes into the spleen to be further filtrated in through grain chi, which goes in as a mist up to the lungs to be transported into the blood. And then whatever's not needed goes into the small intestine and further through large intestine to be cleared out of the body. So just here in wide knee child's pose, twist. Just for 2 more rounds of breath. And then we'll move on to twisting to the left side. So just take your time to come out of the shape. Use your right hand as a post in front of the face, and then you can slowly unravel. You might want to lift up, you may need to adjust your legs, and then we can pad your hands back out. Take your left hand all the way to the top. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, twist, thread the right arm through and turn to the left side of your mat. And then again, either left arm stays extended, or you can bring your hand round to your sacrum or round to the right thigh, whatever feels most comfortable for you on this side. And again, just prop up as much as you need. So you may need to bring a blanket under the head or under the knees. And then breathe into the belly again, nice deep belly breaths. Just around 2 minutes here. So just so you know where you're working in the meridian lines for today, the spleen is the yin organ pair, so it travels up the body. And it begins in the inside of the big toe, travels up the inner leg line, all the way into the groin. And then it enters into the groin, into the spleen and stomach, traveling up through the torso. And it goes all the way up the left side of the body, through the throat, past the heart, the diaphragm, the chest, all the way through the throat to the end or the root of the tongue. The root of the tongue, and this is why the tongue is related to our sense of taste. That meridian line connects us in with the stomach, tells us when we're hungry, when we need food, when we can taste the food that we're eating. It's all linked in with the same organ pair. And also, the stomach meridian line is the yang, which travels down the body. So this starts next to the nose. It goes down through the diaphragm, into the stomach and the spleen, and it moves down along the top of the thighs, top of the shin, and it ends at the second toe. So again, we're just going to take 2 more breaths here. At the end of that exhale, just slowly start to walk yourself back in. Use your left hand as a post. Slowly unravel, and then you can either come up to sit back onto your heels or come into all fours. Just take a moment to let yourself reset. Feel any changes, notice what's happening in the body, if you can feel any energy shifting and moving. Just taking 2 more breaths in. So from here, we're going to move into a little sequence on the one side of the body, and then we'll move over to the other. So we're going to start with dragon. So taking a nice big step forward with your left foot. Nice. And then we're going to lift up, bring hands into prayer, and then take a twist. So you're hooking your right elbow on the end of the left thigh. Turn from your navel point, and then you want to really push the palms together and twist, looking around towards the back of your mat. If that's okay for your neck, if not, just look into wherever feels comfortable in the neck. And really turn from the navel center. So you're getting a nice deep twist from here, and then feeling more of the chest opening. Keep the legs nice and strong. If that's too much, you can always just work to bring your right hand to the outside edge of the knee, and then bring your back hand round to your sacrum or to the side of your right hip, but stay in a more lifted position. If that's too much on anybody's knee, just grab some padding for underneath the knee, prop yourself up as much as you need to. And just here for around 1.5 minutes longer, so 2 minutes again. Breathe into the belly. The more we can breathe into the belly, we can feel a nice massaging of the belly against the thigh. Again, flooding the organs with fresh prana, with fresh blood supply, clearing out any stagnant food or energy or blood. So we get all of the internal organs moving. It's just last minute to go. See if we can make any more length and space through the spine. Finding as much steadiness in your body, steadiness in your mind. Just last 3 rounds of breath. So with your next inhalation, you can slowly de-rotate. Just bring your hands down to the floor. We're going to shift the weight back. But we want to take, you can either take a blanket underneath your seat, so you've got something to sit onto, or you're bringing yourself down to the floor. So bring your hands back in line with your back knee, shift it in slightly, and then you're sitting down on the inside of that back leg. If that's too much, I'll give you something else to do in a second, but if you're okay here, stay here. So if you need to shift slightly further forward, you can do that to allow yourself to come down onto your elbows. So we're in half saddle. If you feel okay to come all the way down, just slowly lower yourself all the way flat to the mat. So you're really opening up this front line of your right thigh. If that's too strong for anyone, then just bring your left leg back, lay down onto your belly, and bring your right foot into the heel is into your glutes, and you're just holding around the foot or around the ankle. So you're still getting the same stretch, but it's not as intense. Prop yourself up as much as you need to. Again, we're here for about 1.5 minutes. So the chi of the spleen and stomach is affected by diet. So what are we putting into our bodies? Is it nourishing us, or is it actually creating more havoc in the body? Is it creating an imbalance somewhere? If we find that the spleen and stomach meridian is out of balance, we often find that there's problems with the mouth. So ulcers, bad breath, things like that going on in the mouth. Also, we notice disharmony in the emotional sense of feeling anxious, feeling like you overthink. There's a propensity for worry and a lack of coherence. So this is when the discernment starts to come into play. When we are balanced and we're being really nurtured and nourished by the food that we're eating, we are full and we're grounded, we're connected to our bodies are working in rhythm. And if we're not getting the right food, the right sustenance, everything else will be affected, because we need food in order to function. If we don't have energy, we can't perform tasks. And this is sometimes where we start to see that lack of clarity in the mind, because the body's not full, the body's not got energy. We're in a disharmony within the spleen and stomach meridian line. So when we are really in balance, everything's working well, we're feeding ourselves with the right foods, and we're in tune with what our body needs to eat, we're feeling very earthy, very full. So we're just here for one more round of breath. So if you're on your front, just slowly come up onto all fours. And if you're on your back, just bring yourself up onto your elbows. Lift yourself up onto your hands. And then we're coming up again. So just shift yourself up into a lunge position. If you're in all fours, just step your left foot forward. We're going to take the left foot across the mat and then bring the knee down to the floor. So come into sleeping swan. So if you feel that this is uncomfortable to rest with your back leg out long, just bend that back knee and then twist your body towards the bent knee at the front. If you feel comfortable with the back leg straight, do that. You might want to use some props like a blanket or a bolster underneath your hips to keep your sacrum nice and flat. And then you can either work just resting your hand onto the knee and the foot, or you can start to come down lower onto your elbows, or maybe even stretching out fully in front of you if you have the space. If that's too much, just bend in again. The front knee, back leg just bends to relax, and then twist your body and bring your belly down onto that thigh, so you get that stretch in the groin and in your left hip. Nice, so relax the jaw, relax the eyebrows. We want to feel a deep stretch. So quite often we think that yin is just about chilling and relaxing, but it's actually, we want to really feel the stretch and hold and pause and stay steady in the mind, stay steady with the breath, and really feel what's going on in each shape. Let's just here for 1.5 minutes longer. So if we're taking in nourishment and we're really filling ourselves up with goodness, we're able to feel this nourishment on all levels. And we start to make better choices. We start to see clarity in other things because our systems are clear and working harmoniously. And this is taking in nourishment on all levels, mentally, emotionally, physically. So what are we nourishing ourselves with in terms of what we're looking at, what we're reading, what we're researching, what we're listening to, what people are we surrounding ourselves with? And then once we really find that sense of nourishment and fullness, we're really grounded, we're really clear, we naturally will feel contentment and ease because everything's working as it should, everything's in balance and harmony. And this is what comes into play with the stomach and the spleen, that sense of balance, equilibrium, a sense of feeling at home within ourselves. And so just see for the last 15 seconds. Let's just take a last round of breath here. And then wherever you are, we're going to make our way back to child's pose as a counter before we come and do the other side. So just slowly lift yourself up, take your hands back to all fours, and then slowly work yourself back to bring your sit bones down onto your heels. If you need to take any other stretches in between, please feel free to. We're going to pause in child's just for a little while. Just feel that sense of dropping in, relaxing the mind. Breathe abdominally deeply. So just taking a final round of breath. And then with your next inhalation, we're going to step the right foot forward. So coming up and taking the right foot forward, we do the other side now. So coming up, and then we can bring hands into prayer in our lunge. And take a nice deep twist, hook the left elbow onto the end of the right thigh and turn from the navel. So you're turning and looking towards the back end of your mat. If that doesn't feel good for the neck, just pause whatever feels good. Just gently pressing the hands together to open the chest and breathe fully into the belly. Just here for 2 minutes. So spleen chi is the link between self and the outside world. So how do we take in food, turn broccoli into nourishment? How do we transform things? And this quality of adaptation is what allows us to make sufficient and intelligent choices. Allows us to come up with appropriate responses, and we take time to really think and respond rather than react. So this is all about discernment again. Ability to really see the clarity in what each situation holds and discern what it is that we need to do in response to situations, what information we need to take with us and what we need to discard. Well done, just take your last breath here. And then with your next inhalation, you can de-rotate. We're going to come into the half saddle again. So if you're taking the full variation, just walk your hands back, shift your back knee in slightly, and then sit down on the inside of your back foot. So the heel is next to your hip. You may need to shuffle slightly further forward. And then you can either lean back, come onto the elbows, or come all the way down to the mat. And if that's not comfortable, just allow yourself to come over onto your front Lay down, and then we're bringing the left heel into the glute. And just pausing here. So again, here for 2 minutes. Just find whichever position. Maybe you need some props. Just prop yourself up as much as you need to. And come to the edge of your stretch. So you're really working deeply into that meridian line that's running along the front of the thigh and into the torso. So we're really opening and stretching the stomach now. So if we're feeling that the spleen and stomach is not in harmony, if there's something out, there's an imbalance or there's too much energy flowing through, we may feel this worry, there's too much energy moving through the body, so we don't know what to do with it. This obsessive thinking, overthinking, anxiety, also can be seen as inflexibility. So in the mind, in the body, and also it can be seen as lethargy, weakness, dullness, or your rhythms and cycles are off. So it's quite interesting just to note how each different meridian line system works within the body. What do they bring to us? And then when we really understand what it is that's off, we can use these meridian lines to rebalance, reharmonize, and work within our lifestyle, our choices, how we're living our lives, what are we bringing into our life, what are we letting go of, to slowly bring us back into harmony. These are like roadmaps just to follow, just to bring us back into that center. So just here for another 10 seconds or so. Just take in 1 or 2 more breaths. And then if you've come to lay down on your back, just gently prop yourself up onto your elbows and then come up onto your hands. And we're coming again into that lunge position. So we're taking this time the right foot forward. If you're on your belly, just come up to all fours and then step your right foot forward. We're taking the foot across to the left side of the mat and then let the knee drop down. So again, prop yourself up as much as you need, or lay the body over that right thigh and bend into the back knee. You can either stay lifted, or if you want to bring more of a compression, just start to work yourself down onto your elbows or come to stretch out along the mat if you've got the space. Nice, just take your time to get into the shape and pause where you need to. We're here for around another 2 minutes. Can you find a sense of ease and contentment within the shape? Although it's pressing and pushing the body towards its edge, where can you find a sense of softness or letting go, or a real sense of coming back into the present awareness? So you're just witnessing what is happening in the body. You're not taking it and acknowledging that you are that. You're experiencing the body, feeling something. You come back into the witness, back into that space of constant rest, constant ease. Your innate nature as the seer, as the observer, to feel rested, to feel peaceful. Last 30 seconds. Just taking your last round of breath. And then with your next inhalation, we're going to move ourselves back into Charles and pause there. So slowly coming up, press yourself to all fours, take the right knee back. And then maybe take a little gap between the knees and sit yourself back towards your heels to rest in Charles. Either arms stretched, or you can bring your hands down beside your heels and rest there. Just taking one more breath. And when you're ready, you're going to come up to a seat. And come to the middle of your mat and into the length of your mat. We're going to take the legs wide. And then into dragonfly. So you might want to sit onto a rolled up blanket. If you feel that you're kind of toppling backwards, then just lift your seat higher. And if you need to prop up the knees, quite nice to take like a little noodle with a blanket and bring it underneath the knees just to add a bit of support. Or just take the legs a little bit closer in and bend the knees if you need to. We're working more on twisting, but this is also to target the inner leg line. So we're working that spleen meridian line from the big toe up into the groin. So we're going to twist the body. First, we're going to turn to the left and then we'll turn to the right. So just find a long spine to begin with. And then as you exhale, just start to turn yourself, I'm going to mirror you to the left. And you can either keep your hands either side, or you can work to bring your right hand to the outside edge of the knee, and then your left hand can come round to the top of your opposite thigh. So you're turning a bit more deeply into the twist. Just here for about a minute each side. So breathe in again fully into the belly and turn from the navel point. Just look into wherever feels good for the neck and shoulders. Try to relax the shoulders away from the ears. And back into observing. Notice what's going on in the mind. Is there a struggle anywhere? Can you soften? But still find your edge. Just 2 more rounds of breath on this side. And with your next inhalation, slowly de-rotate, come back through to the center. Just pause for a moment. Take a nice deep breath in. And with your exhale, we can slowly twist to the opposite direction. So again, hands either either side, or you can bring the left hand to the back of the knee and the right hand to the back body, or round to the top of the left thigh. Turn from the navel and then come back into deep belly breaths. Just a minute on this side. As we practice Yin, we hold space for ourselves to really investigate what is going on, what is sitting just beneath the surface. What are our natural tendencies, our habits, our thought patterns? Where do we hold tension in the body? What is going on in the body? How are we feeling? What is our reaction or response to stress or pressure? So that edge that we meet, that's the stress, that's the pressure that we put upon the body to see how it responds to that pressure. Can we stay central? Can we stay non-attached, non-judgmental, and really centered in our mind as the observer? Or do we get engaged? Do we attach to the feelings, the sensations? Do we start to go into a spiral or snowball of thinking? Where is the mind going? There's the last 2 breaths. And as you inhale, slowly derotate, come back through to center as you inhale the next round. So we're going to fold forward from here. So if you need to adjust the legs and maybe bring them in or bring them out, just do that. And then you can start to pad your hands forward. So just slowly coming in. As we inhale, we find more length in the spine. And as we exhale, maybe padding the hands slightly further forward. Maybe coming down onto the elbows. Maybe taking the arms out long and stretching forward. Wherever you are today, just finding a position that allows you to feel that inner leg line stretch. If it feels too much to stay here, you can come to lay down onto your back and bring your legs up and wide. So we're still getting that inner leg line stretch, but it's not as intense. Just breathing into the belly. Staying neutral and steady and stable. Not attaching, not judging, just awareness. And we stay in that space of non-attachment, non-judgment as the observer. All the comings and goings. That's when we start to find that true clarity of mind. Get that deep connection to our intuition, because we're not tangled up in the messes of past, of karma, of attachments, of the emotions. We're here, we're present, we're clear, we're focused, we are aware, just resting in that spaciousness of presence. That's when we find that clear discernment. We know yes, no, we can see deeper into the true meaning of each and every situation that is presented to us. Begin to live a life of true clarity. Let's just take another 2 rounds of breath in. Next inhalation, just slowly, very slowly start to lift yourself back up to come into a seated position. Just take a moment, and then you can just gently bring your hands behind the backs of the knees and take the feet to the floor. Hug yourself in, or take some knee sways if you want to lean back into the hands and just sway the legs side to side. You can do that too. Whatever feels good. So from here, I'm going to finish with just one last shaped butterfly, which you can take either from a seated position or you can come to lay down your back, so whichever you prefer. And you might like to use a bolster or some bricks underneath your knees or hips, so you've got a bit of support to rest into. So sometimes pop-in is really helpful to let us actually deepen into stretches. When we feel supported and grounded, the body can then really open because it feels supported. So if you need that extra support, just grab that to pop yourself up. And then either come to a seated position, taking the feet closer in is going to create more of a deeper stretch in the groin. And the feet further away is going to give a little bit more of a softer stretch through the inner leg line and the hips. And then you can either hold on to the feet and just find a long spine, maybe work to just push the knees down energetically. Or if you're reclined, just let yourself rest with maybe your hands on the belly, if that feels nice to connect in there. And if you want to increase the stretch from a seat, take an inhale in lengthen spine, and as you exhale, gently fold in forward. So you're coming into a folded butterfly. And then again, breathe into your belly. So nice deep belly breaths. Really relax the pelvic floor. Just taking another 3 rounds of breath. So once you've finished that last round of breath, you can either take your legs into easy pose, so cross legs, and let yourself rest for a moment there. Or you can slowly bring the knees up and take the feet to the floor, maybe hug them into the chest, or take some knee sways, some hip circles might feel nice. Just taking a rebound in whatever way feels good. And we're going to move into Yoga Nidra from here. So we're not taking a Shavasana, but we're going to take Yoga Nidra. So you'll have around 45 minutes now. I'm going to finish at just 15 minutes later. So just finding a position to rest into. You might want to take a blanket or a pillow underneath the back of the head and bolster behind the back of the knees. Just making sure the heels are down on the floor. So you're taking the legs out long and you can rest your head down. And also grabbing a cloth or something to gently cover the eyes over. So you can really let yourself drop in and rest. So just making sure that you take any adjustments, movements that your body needs so that you feel really comfortable and completely rested. There's nothing bothering the body or sort of dragging your attention away. So if you need to turn any lights off, if you need to put any more warm clothes on or blanket, just grab anything that you need. So this deep, dreamless sleep allows us to become very, very close to non-being. This non-being, non-attachment, non-judgment, is the true essence of who we are. The Yoga Nidra is a way that we can allow the body to sleep and we access the peripheral part of the mind. So the working, the conscious mind is rested, is asleep. And this allows us to go into the buddhi mind, which is the sharp mind. sharpest part. We remain awake within that, so we can really move to the part that is closest, most proximate to the non-being, our truest, highest self. So this is Yoga Nidra for cognition and specifically for discernment. So really clearing and purifying the subconscious mind to allow us to work in complete clarity and see a deeper truth. So when we dream normally, this is because the mind has a lot to process and we want to be able to sleep in a truly nourishing way at night when we're not dreaming at all, when we have a dreamless sleep. So Yoga Nidra is really going to help us to decompress the mind and become more spacious. Within that space, within the space we create through Yoga Nidra, we can then start to plant seeds into the subconscious mind, which is extremely fertile space for true growth and liberation from anything that we're attached to, anything that is holding us back from really stepping into true alignment of our highest self and embodying that what it is that we need to be working towards and moving within our lives. So our intention for today is to find discernment, clear perception, which allows us ultimately to live a life of clarity with confidence and intuitive guidance. So just making any final adjustments. Just allow your arms to lay beside your sides with the palms facing up. Let the shoulder blades spread wide onto the floor. And from this very still and comfortable space, now become the observer of sounds. Begin with sounds close by. Then gradually hearing sounds further and further away. Without any analysis of sounds, just observation of sound. Gradually begin to guide your awareness back, closer in towards your body. And then observe your body. Scan it with your mind, with your awareness. And notice if there's any areas of your body holding tension unnecessarily. If there are, just inviting those areas to relax. So that it seems your physical body is completely open and heavy. Almost surrendering to the force of gravity. Surrender into that pull of the earth. Now become aware of your breath. Take conscious hold of your breath and practice deep conscious breathing. Aware of the belly rising as you inhale and falling as you exhale. And notice the distinct difference of the qualities of the inhale and the exhale. Inhale is vibrant, nurturing, is full of vitality. And your exhale is surrendering. It's a release, a letting go. Just releasing conscious hold of the breath and notice the body breathes. whole body breathes by itself. You are not the breather, you're the one witnessing the body breathe. Now allow yourself to sink even more deeply into that witness state, into the seer. Rest completely in awareness. Now move your attention and your awareness to the center of your forehead. Relax the whole area. And see or feel a point of light emerging, a single point of light, like a tiny star, in the center of the forehead. Move your awareness to the center of the throat. Relax the area and feel the point of light emerge in the center of the throat. Now to the right shoulder, point of light. Completely relaxed. The right elbow. The right wrist. Tip of the right thumb, point of light. Tip of the index finger. Middle finger. Ring finger. Little finger, point of light. Tip of the little finger. Whole body effortless. Right wrist. Right elbow. Right shoulder. Center of the throat. Point of light. Left shoulder. Point of light. Left elbow. Left wrist. Tip of the thumb. Point of light. Tip of the index finger. Third finger. Fourth. Fifth finger. Left wrist. Left elbow. Left shoulder. Center of the throat. Body sleeps. Mind sleeps. Awareness remains awake. Center of the chest, point of light, completely relaxed. Feel or see the point of light emerging in the center of the chest. Right side of the chest, point of light. Center of the chest. Left side of the chest. Center of the chest. Navel center. Completely relaxed. Point of light emerging. Top of the sacrum. Point of light. Center of the right hip. Right knee. Right ankle. Tip of the right big toe. Second toe. Third toe. Fourth toe. Fifth toe. Right ankle, knee, center of the right hip, top of the sacrum, center of the left hip, point of light emerging, left knee, left ankle, left big toe, tip of the toe, point of light, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. Relaxed point of light. Left ankle, left knee, center of the left hip, top of the sacrum, navel center, whole body relaxed, center of the chest, throat, center of the forehead, point of light. Feel into all of those points simultaneously. All points pulsing together as one, like a brightly lit constellation of stars. Relax even deeper into pure witnessing consciousness, aware of all of the points, sense of spaciousness surrounding those points of light, and the breath like a gentle breeze moving through the space of consciousness. Now, in your own intuitive way, see your body lying on the floor, practicing Yoga Nidra right now. Take your mind back 30 minutes and see and remember what you were doing at that point. See it as a snapshot without any judgment, emotion, just view the scene. Now move back another 30 minutes. What were you doing? Remember the scene as a snapshot. And again, move back 30 minutes. Continue on in this way. And keep moving back in time in 30-minute blocks until you get all the way back to the previous night's deep, dreamless sleep. When you get to that space of last night's dreamless sleep, just rest in that unique cognition. so close to your pure essence, Purusha, the one who is always at rest. Now, once again, become aware of your subtle breath, gentle breath. And this time, just as it moves in and out through your nostrils. I'm aware of the breath moving as two independent streams. One through the left and one through the right. Each breath in, the streams ascend through the nostrils, touching a singular point, the midbrain, around the middle of the forehead or in between the eyebrows. And then as you exhale, the breath descends through both nostrils and out. Now, using only your mind, we'll move into alternate nostril breathing. So the next time you breathe in, feel the breath move in through the left nostril only. Meet the apex point, that singular point in the midbrain. And as you exhale, feel the breath move out of the right nostril. As you inhale, feel the breath move in through the right nostril to the central point. And exhale out through the left nostril. And continue to breathe in that way. Continue with mental alternate nostril breathing. Just let yourself be effortless. Carefully adjust back to regular breathing through both nostrils, balanced on both sides. Just relax your awareness of the breath and let it be spontaneous. Move your attention to the inside of your forehead and see it as a black screen. Yogis call it Chidakasha, means screen of the mind. So position yourself back from the screen, somewhere in the middle of your brain. And observing forwards the black screen. This is a place where the subconscious mind can release its tensions. And also where the soul can communicate with the mind via symbols, patterns, colours. Just witness this space without any attachment or expectation. Watching the screen of the mind, just allowing images to unfold in their own volition. Just simply watch. If you see no images or symbols on the screen, just simply relax more and become increasingly more effortless. Just witness. Now let go of Chitakasha, the mind screen. Just release all technique, all effort. Just rest in spacious awareness. My natural state is pure, spacious awareness. I see clearly because my natural state is always at rest. I discern the truth and perceive the deeper meaning in all things. With clarity and confidence in my inner guidance. I assimilate nourishment on all levels and discard what is unhelpful. I am grounded, stable, and pure. I am truth. My natural state is pure, spacious awareness. I see clearly because my natural state is always at rest. I discern the truth and perceive the deeper meaning in all things with clarity and confidence in my inner guidance. I assimilate nourishment on all levels and discard what is unhelpful. I am grounded, stable, and pure. I am truth. My natural state is pure, spacious awareness. I see clearly because my natural state is always at rest. I discern the truth and perceive the deeper meaning in all things with clarity and confidence in my inner guidance. I assimilate nourishment on all levels and discard what is unhelpful. I am grounded, stable, and pure. I am truth. Begin to slowly return to your breath. And start with some gentle movement of the head, the hands, the feet. Stretch yourself out. Roll to a side and just pause. Take a few transitioning breaths here. And then bring yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Draw your palms together. Practice of Yoga Nidra is now complete. Namaste.